Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Delaney, and this is Organized Adult. So today we're going to be talking about how to bake a chicken. I know it might seem like a little bit weird for this channel, just because this isn't a cooking channel, and I'm certainly no chef. But at the same time, being an adult and being an organized, self-sufficient, go-getter adult, you need to be able to cook basic things on your own. So once a month, I plan on, at least once a month, I plan on doing some sort of basic cooking segment where I show you how to cook something pretty basic that we're all going to need to know how to cook at one point or another in our lives. So this footage I recorded at my house. As you can see, I'm in a different background because I am now moved into my college dorm for the spring semester. All the footage was recorded at my home with my mother. Thank you very much, Mom. In my home kitchen, so you're obviously going to need like an oven and some counter space and stuff like that. But this video gives you a step-by-step walkthrough for how to bake a chicken. It shows you the ingredients, it shows all the parts of cutting it, it shows, you know, everything that you're going to need, like what dish to place it in, what spices to use, like how to get the wishbone out of it, what you can do with the carcass or the leftover meat when you're done so you can get more than one meal out of it. This video goes through step by step, basically like how to cook a chicken for dummies, because when it comes to cooking, I am a dummy. I don't know what I'm doing. I mess up a lot. So I definitely think that this video is meant for the people that have zero experience cooking, are going to be cooking for themselves for the first time, and want to know how to cook something basic as a whole chicken. So with that, I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you find this helpful. Okay guys, we're just going to go through the ingredients first. You obviously need salt, and this is our little Pomeranian shaker. And you're going to need some rosemary leaves and parsley flakes. These are just you know, containers that you could probably buy at any grocery store. You're going to want some seasoning. This one, as you can see, is just a rotisserie chicken flavor. You're going to want some ground pepper, and then obviously your chicken. This one is about 8 pounds. It went for about $15 at our local grocery store, but I'm sure some other places would be cheaper and have smaller options if it's just 1 or 2 people. And then you're going to want a pan, obviously, that's going to fit your chicken. And you're going to want to coat it with a layer of tin foil just for an easier cleanup, and you're going to want to spray that tin foil. Okay, and we're also going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. That's the most ideal temperature for cooking your chicken at. And right now we're just going to cut open the packaging. You can see that this was just a Purdue chicken. So we're just going to cut it out of the packaging, and basically there's like a kind of nasty bag of guts inside of it that we're going to take out and throw away. You can use it for soup or maybe like a couple other recipes, but we don't choose to do that. And as you can see, some really tasty liquid comes out too. So you just want to make sure that you take all of that out. It's really important that you take it out because it is coated in plastic, and you definitely don't want that inside of your chicken when you go to cook it. Another thing about certain types of chicken is that some will come with this little pop-up thing that will pop out of the chicken when it's done cooking. You can't always 100% rely on it, so you want to make sure that you read the instructions like on your chicken, and you know that in like the meatiest part of your chicken you want it to be 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you just have like a kitchen thermometer, you can do that. Or you know, you can always just like cut into it and look and make sure that it's fully cooked, but that pop-up is also there to pop up when the chicken is done. Okay, so now we're going to prepare the chicken for cooking. We're going to do this by filling it with some spices, covering it with some spices, doing a lot with spices. So first we're pouring in our rosemary that I showed you earlier. Just some basic rosemary leaf flakes. Then a lot of salt. Chicken and salt go well together. And, okay.
You could stuff it if you wanted.
And you could stuff it with, I'm assuming, stuffing, or maybe some other recipe that you might know of, but this is, again, just like a basic overview of how to cook a chicken. Okay, now we're going to coat the entire chicken with that rotisserie seasoning, again, that I showed you earlier. And you want to just do like a thin layer over your entire chicken. And adding some pepper to taste. And finally, a good amount of parsley flakes just to add some color and sweetness. Now we're gonna cover the entire chicken with tin foil, but you want to do it in almost like a tent type design so that the heat and air inside of the oven can circulate and cook your chicken fully from all sides. You don't want like one part of your chicken to be super cooked and another part to be raw or anything like that. So as you can see, you want to like pull the middle of it higher than the sides to make a tent like fixture. And it'll self base, and it'll have like a all around the chicken cooking method. And we're just gonna pop that into the oven, again at 350 degrees. You should have already preheated it. Okay, so we just put our chicken in the oven and we're just gonna let it cook for 2 hours, and then I will see you guys when we take it out and we have some more steps to do. Okay guys, so it's actually been about 3 hours now and we're gonna take out the chicken. We checked it after 2 hours and decided that it needed a bit more time. So we're gonna go ahead and take it out. Okay, so we took it out of the oven, and as you can see, the little pop thing over there has not come up, but like I said earlier, you can't always 100% rely on that, because as we're like pulling at the chicken and kind of like looking at the chicken, we can tell that it's done because it's literally about to fall off the bone. Okay, so now we're just going to baste it and put some of the leftover liquid in the pan all over the chicken just to add more flavor and to make it a little bit more juicy. And finally, we're just going to let it sit for 15 minutes just to kind of let the temperature go down a little bit and to let all of the juices soak into the chicken. Okay, so we let our chicken sit for about 15 minutes, and now we're going to start the process of deboning it, which basically is just cutting it up into edible pieces, taking the legs and wings off, etc. So first we're going to start by cutting off the wings and the legs. And we are just using like a simple fork and a steak knife for this. And we've gotten out a separate glass dish to put all of the chicken into. So there's a space between the leg and the thigh that you have to find to be able to cut between the bones. So if you don't find it right away, you just kind of have to look around until you find that space that you're able to cut through the meat. So after we've just taken out all of the legs and wings, we're going to go ahead and cut through the thighs, which are basically like these big hunks that are still connected to the main breast of the chicken. And we're just going to cut those off in pretty big pieces. And throughout this process, basically, as we take the bone off of the, as we take the chicken off of the whole chicken, we're cutting it up into bite-sized pieces, or pieces that you would put onto a plate. So you can do that as you're taking the bigger chunks off. Okay, so now we're going to start cutting the breast meat, the white meat that everybody likes. Basically what you're going to do is you're just going to cut symmetrically down the center, and you can take the skin off as you're going about that.
You don't have to, but it's healthier.
You don't have to cut the skin off, but it's healthier if you want to.
Now you cut against the green.
What does that mean? Okay, so when you're cutting the breast meat, you want to cut against the grain. So in this case, we can see that there are indentations going this way across the chicken, so we're going to cut that way so that it's easier to keep the chicken in larger pieces. Intact. So basically, while you're going about cutting the main breast meat away from the breastbone, which is in the middle, which is why we cut down the center like we did earlier, you just want to pull away basically all the white meat that you see and put it all in your separate dish so that, I mean, you could use that for sandwiches or in a pie or just to eat with, you know, some sides or whatever. If you want to, you could take the little wishbone off the end right there. We just ripped it away from the end of the breastbone and just take all the meat off of it. And you can do that thing where you
Dry it out.
What? Oh, you need to dry it out and maybe like by the window or something, and then you can do that thing where two people pull apart and you make a wish and all that if you're into that. So that's how to get the wishbone. Okay, so this is what we have left after we take all of the major meat off of the chicken, and again we put it in our dish over there. What you can do with the rest of this meat is you can actually put this in a pot with boiling water and basically boil the rest of this chicken to the point that the bones and the meat are going to separate, and then you could use that meat in like a chicken noodle soup or something. So that's a good way to, I mean, a good like economical way to get more than one meal out of a whole chicken. Sit. Hey, sit. And most importantly, we're going to give little pieces of the chicken right here to these little dogs. So, Teddy, sit. One for Teddy. Henry, sit. One for Henry. Gypsy, sit. Sit. And one for Gypsy. Yay, chicken for all the doggies. Okay, so that's how you go about cooking a chicken. I honestly bet it's a lot easier than you thought it was going to be, or at least it was to me. You know, my mom has cooked a lot of chicken for us over the course of my living at home, but I never actually sat there and watched her do it, and I guess in my head I just thought it would be like this super complicated, like, thing. Not to say that it's, you know, it doesn't take a little bit of skill, but it's definitely a lot easier than I thought it would be. So, and, you know, also the fact that you can get multiple meals out of one chicken, like, that's huge, especially, you know, for us broke college kids or people that just graduated college and, you know, need to get as much bang for their buck as they can. So if you enjoyed this video, I really encourage you to subscribe, like, leave me a comment below if this was helpful. I'm also going to have a step-by-step guide written out if you want to print it out or make like a recipe out of it. On my blog, organizedadult.com/blog/chicken. And as always, it'll be linked below, as well as all of my social media accounts, which I encourage you to follow. I update my Instagram every day and my other social media accounts at least once a week. And So I encourage you to follow those to get more updates from me. And like I said, a step-by-step guide written out on the blog. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you enjoyed. And I hope that it helps you to make your first chicken at some point, maybe over the next few weeks or months. So with that, I hope you guys got a lot out of this video, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.